on, Ed.
You are going to have to be quiet to hear this. I'd like to start off by saying on behalf of my beautiful wife and I, we thank you, Robert, for your very kind words.
Oh, he's off.
Why?
On a serious note, I must stand here again and thank you, Robert, for allowing me the honour of calling your daughter my wife. It meant such a lot to me after our, may I add, rather nervous chat outside the White Cross on that sunny afternoon back in May 2011.
Oh, when I was filling my car up with petrol.
Where you gave me your consent for me to ask Kate to marry me. I couldn't quite work out if you were shocked or relieved, but I do recall you saying that you should have ordered a stiffer drink than half a Guinness. Yeah. You have always welcomed me in, and I really can honestly say that I truly feel a part of your family. My thanks also extend to my wonderful mother-in-law Jane for everything you have done and do for us both that makes our lives so much better and more enjoyable. So thank you both. Unfortunately, it's not been possible to have everyone we love here with us today, but we know they're here with us in spirit, and they're not only in our thoughts today, but more importantly, they're with us in our hearts. So with them in mind, would you please all stand and raise your glasses and join me in a toast to absent friends and family.
Absent friends and family.
I'd like to say to the rest of you all a big thank you for making the effort to travel from far and wide to be here at Whitewell to celebrate our day. We hope you have and will continue to have to enjoy this occasion in a beautiful part of the world that we have grown to love. If I'm honest, I must confess that I was a little sceptical and nervous about having to write and deliver a speech today, and a few weeks ago I confessed this to Kate. She simply replied that she was also concerned, but gave me reassurance that she would be on hand, sat beside me, to help, as I have a tendency to waffle on and bore people.
Never.
So to start married life as it will most probably continue, I've done as I'm told, allowing her to proofread some of this speech. Therefore, if I've missed anybody or missed anything out, I completely blame myself. Many of you may not know how much time and effort both our mothers have put into making today happen.
Here, here.
Yeah, here. Absolutely.
Tirelessly. They have both worked tirelessly, with Jane constantly at her sewing machine, making waistcoats to dresses and bunting to dog collars. Yeah, James made this for anybody who didn't know. So on behalf of Harry, Freya, Alfie and myself, a big thanks to our, for our custom outfits from the Jane Baker exclusive wedding collection. Then I've got to go on to my mum. She has been in the kitchen creating the wonderful wedding cake, which is in the corner over there. Which I must admit looks absolutely stunning, and I'm sure it will taste just as nice. All that in such a short space of time, all this combined with the task of actually being the florists, the room decorators, the people planners, the organisers, the list goes on. We thought we would say thanks with something that may, just may, last year longer than the life of a bunch of flowers, usually enjoyed on the rocks with a small amount of tonic. You both look lovely today. Thank you so much. We both love you very much. Not forgetting the dads who have always been there for us, offering their full support, being dad's taxi, to and fro from here to home on the run up to today. Being very patient and especially taking the dog for walks in the pouring rain. As believe it or not, 99% of the time that we've been up here, it's been in monsoon conditions. We've been blessed with the weather today, and I just cannot believe it, but it has really been horrendous. Rain coming sideways. There's a small token of our appreciation in the bags, but please don't drink it all at once. We know what you're like when you're together.
Oh, my favourite. Thank you.
Further thanks to my parents for putting up. Sorry. My day. Yes, son. Sorry, my wife's day.
My wife, I know.
Further thanks to both my parents for putting up with me for 29 years. I know it's not always been easy, and I've not always been an angel, but hopefully the good outweighs the bad. So would you please all be upstanding and raise a glass to the parents?
To the parents.
I was about to ask why you wanted to look.
I'll bring mine from.
We are very fortunate to have two beautiful bridesmaids and a gorgeous little flower girl with us here today, who have helped us, who have helped our day to be so special. Sarah, Juliet, and Freya over there. Thank you for all you've done. As instructed by my wife, extra special thanks must go to Kate's best friend, Sarah Garnett. Sarah.
All day long.
Sarah,
You're the best.
Sarah has quite literally been on hand 24/7 with her love, help, support to us both, and we both really appreciate it. I am sure you will all agree with me that they look amazing today.
Hey. Gary's got a napkin for
I'm
you.
sure you'll all agree with me that they look amazing today. Please be upstanding and join me in a toast to the bridesmaids.
To the bridesmaids. Bridesmaids. Well done, girls.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, a girl.
Like, you can have your hanky. Just got a bit. No. Just got a bit of snot. It wasn't snot, it was spit from my mouth.
As you may or may not be aware, we didn't really plan this with years and years of time. And I'm sure if we did, then Kate would have had an entourage that would rival that of Rihanna or Beyonce to fuss around to her today. Many of her wonderful friends have sat before us, and I know you will all understand, if she could have had you all in the bride's party, then she would. You all know who you are. The best men.
Be nice to them.
My brother James and Chris, my two closest friends who are always on hand if I need any help, advice or just somebody to talk to. I'm not going to talk too much about these two, as I'm sure they will want to do the talking themselves, or maybe not as the case. Please take what they say with a handful of salt.
A handful.
I'd like to thank them for organising and arranging my stag do at such a short notice. I know it caused a lot of stress between them, but in the end it was exactly what I wanted. I have to mention here that I beat them all at the go-karting, and there was only ever one person that was going to be able to pull off the white helmet, James, and it wasn't you. Thanks to my usher Hayden, and our three and our three nephews, Joe, Sam and Harry. Harry's just gone. Joe and Sam.
They're there.
Joe and Sam. The Page Boys. who have all played their parts in making the day so special, including John and Sam's reading in church, and you did really well, guys.
Brilliant.
You'll get yours later if you could. Without also forgetting to mention Alfie, as I will be in big trouble with the wife, for offering a unique, free of charge service to the staff here at Whitewell in performing a constant patrol of the marquee floor, ensuring that nothing edible goes to waste. I would also be very surprised if any of you managed to escape without adopting at least one of his black hairs attached to your clothing, which you will probably find in the morning.
It's on the drive.
There are a couple of honorary guests present here today. Firstly, somebody who I've not seen for a few years, but a person that I'll never forget from my childhood, my godmother, Auntie Ruth, who is celebrating her 60th birthday today. A very happy birthday to you, and thank you for sharing your big day with us.
Happy
And there is another special guest in the room who will be celebrating her birthday next week, Grandma. Grandma has travelled back from Spain, especially to be here today. Well, travelled back from Spain to be here today, and we're very grateful for the effort, especially as you're going through a bad time with your knees at the moment. So it's even more, Grandma. So it's even more special that you've made the effort to be here today. So there's some flowers.
You do that. You call that more at all.
So moving on, I think that I've thanked everybody really that I needed to. Well, at least I forget to mention my wife. I'm sure you'll all agree with me that Kate, you look stunning today. And when I saw you at the end of the aisle walking towards me, you took my breath away. And I think you could tell with the tears in my eyes.
And you were crying.
Kate and I met back in 1994 at school. Many of you may know that we actually went out together, as Bob touched on, after I managed to pluck up the courage to ask Kate in the romantic setting of the school tennis court. It was a great time. If she would be my girlfriend. Kate said yes. Kate said yes, and we were set. Well, it lasted a week before Kate dumped me for the local vigilante. I wasn't particularly happy with the decision, but it would be fair to say that I was more concerned about him beating me up instead.
Got her in the end though.
I'm not going to say the next bit. Alright, some of you lot might remember this.
When he drank all that.
I managed to overcome the news by getting hold of a 2-litre bottle of white cider.
Lightning.
Drinking it behind the youth club at Airborough in Guiseley on a Friday night, and then proceeding over to Burger King, where after a short time I was barred for life for vomiting all over the table.
Andrew Jessup.
Yeah.
Moving on. moving on. We went through school together as friends, and I suspected that maybe Kate had regretted dumping me when I arrived to school on the morning in my shiny red 1987 Vauxhall Nova, complete with an epic sound system and a bore exhaust. After allowing Kate to drive it and her realisation of how powerful it was compared with her white Nova, I think it dawned on her what she had lost. May I add, whilst the local scallywag she'd dumped before was doing time in Army prison. She turned to me on various occasions, wanting advice on a new set of speakers to rival mine. So I went with her to Charlie Brown's in Guys to choose her. She then made me fit them, along with a few other repairs required to the car, changed the bulb, etc. Maybe this was a sign of things to come, and she was testing whether I would do as I was told. After school, Kate and I lost touch for a couple of years as she went off to uni, and I started working. After her return from Newcastle, we came back into touch, where we started to see more of each other. We ended back together in 2006, where Kate had obviously come to her senses that I was better than the convict, or she was better than me. It had become apparent that Kate wanted to fulfil her lifelong dream of travelling, and only 6 months after getting together, we were saying our goodbyes all over again. This time, knowing we were in love made it so much harder. But we both knew she had to go and see what the rest of the world had to offer. I drove Kate to the airport in Manchester, and armed with a one-way ticket and a rucksack, I can honestly say that the goodbye was the hardest that I have ever experienced in my life. We spoke every day on the phone, where we would share what we had been doing within our separate worlds. Kate describing the wonderful places and people she had met, and I responded with the boring news from back home. Then, 2 weeks into her trip, we made the decision for Kate to return back home, and we were going to on our travelling adventure together after saving up for 6 months. August 2007 arrived, and we left the UK for what would be the most amazing trip of a lifetime, where we travelled across 11 countries in 11 months, saw and experienced so many things, and I think it's safe to say we learned a lot, especially about each other. Experiences are much better when you have somebody that you can share them with, a person who can understand exactly what you're talking about, especially living with somebody who's not the best at getting their point across. Thank you, darling, for living the dream with me. Long may our dreams continue to come true. Following our return to the UK after a successful tour of the world, we saved to buy our first home together. Thanks again, parents, for putting us up in 3 month stints whilst we went from back to forth from the island. Following on from this, and a return to one of our favourite holiday destinations, Florida, and in exactly the same spot as where we spent an afternoon back in 2006, at the end of Anna Maria City Pier, Kate, after what I must admit was a huge struggle to get her where I needed to be, agreed to make me the happiest man alive and agreed to become my wife. There is little more than I can say other than you make me the happiest that I have ever been. You are always there for me to offer love, help and support. I stand here today to promise you that I shall do all I can to make you as happy as it ever possible. I love you, my best friend, my wife. Please again, be upstanding for the final time and raise your glasses to my beautiful wife, Kate.
It's okay. Well done, Ed.
Well done, Edward. Well done, Edward.
No, Sarah, leave it. I'll do it later. I shall now pass you over. I've got something else, but it's not quite here because my best, worst men. I've forgotten it, so never mind. I shall now pass you over to the best men, Chris and James. Remember, take what they say very lightly.
Yeah, I do.